Sorry for the distraction. So, when the third month reached, they realized that this woman is not going to die anytime soon. But when those things were happening, that we are having kind of short meetings with people in the village who are prominent and that can be complicit with them in everything they're doing. And I was wondering, why are they in such a hurry to see this woman's end? I have seen many people who have um, humbled themselves enough to take care of the old people and the young and people who are sickly, and they have given their best to see that this woman is going to live long. Let those people keep on doing what they are doing. We have some societies in the church that visit her at least twice or once every week. And while they are still doing it, why don't you be patient enough for them to do it? Why are you in such a hurry for her to be gone? So on the second week of the third month, they realized that this thing has been getting to like 10 months now, 10 weeks now. It's beginning to 10 weeks, and this woman is not going to die. They called one man in the village and asked him what they should do, to see to her end. We need to help her. We need to help her and send her to her maker. She is suffering, and we ourselves are also suffering. So, in medical terms, it's called kind of euthanasia. Let me just use the word euthanasia. But even though it's not what it is, because euthanasia has its own reason, and even in my Christian Catholic practice, it is not supported to help the dead die. It is indirect murder, so it is not actually supported. But here they said the man brought a brilliant idea to them and said that if you are, you know that she is breathing, and old people's lungs are not so strong. So what you should do is pad up some cloth pillows, and put them up behind her back. Raise her back so that her back will be higher than her body and her breathing will not be comfortable. Then give her some hours. She will be gone. So the family accepted it. They took some of her clothing, padded them up into a high pillow that can be measuring up to 12 inches high. So when they did it, the main woman who was taking care of her walked into the hut and called her by her name, and she answered. And she was like, "Oh, she's still alive." So she packed them up and then told her, "Let me just leave this up for you and know how you'll be faring." So she lifted her back and then put those cloth pillows on her back and then let her lie like that. And she went away and locked the door behind her. After some time, after some hours, she goes back again and sees her again, and she was still breathing. So she was like, this woman, what is wrong with you?" So she went back again and spoke to the man, and she told her that maybe you didn't lift it high enough, add more clothes to it. So the woman went back and padded more clothes and added to the one she already had added to them. So when she added both all of them together, she locked the door behind her. So the man said, "Don't go back again. If you go back again, it will become too noticeable and it will come off as desperate of you. So just let her be." She locked the door and everybody went about their business. When they came back in the evening, they asked the woman who was taking care of her. I'm not going to. I should have used some words, but it will disclose the exact location. So I'm not going to do it. So they asked the woman who was closest to her, who was taking care of her, to go in and check. So she went in and checked. She called her by name. No answer. She pushed her. The body has become stiff. Now, to conceal what they have done, they remove, even though it was not so secret, but it's not right making such things so obvious to avoid garnering condemnations. So she removed the clothes from her back, put her to her former position, and covered her with some wrappers, and came out and started crying, announced that she's gone. Everybody began to cry. That kind of crocodile and donkey tears that family members used to cry for their loved ones, whom they had ignored when they were alive and sickly and in need. They began to cry for her and began to make phone calls right here and there. Before you know it, 2 days, every member of the family began to arrive. Before you could know, 100 to 200 of people have filled the compound. They have bought some drinks. They called a disc jockey, a DJ. They called many people from different areas, people offering different services, people who are cooking the foods, and everybody. You know what would you do? The money that wasn't available to spend on her medical bills has now been made available to see to her burial. So within 2 or 3 days, everything was summarized. Everybody ate and drank, cried and laughed, made rearrangements, washed the house, cleaned everywhere, burnt her clothes, and that was the end of the woman. The young man and his wife took their children back up to the city. The rest of the members of the family went about their businesses, going to markets and going to the farms. And the members of the extended society had to accept it. She lived a very long life. She was a very good woman. We gave our best for her. At least we spent a lot of money during her burial. I was the one that dug the grave. I was the one who took care of this and that. We all really tried. So everyone praised himself for the little and the much they had done, and everyone goes around. Everyone goes about with their daily lives, waiting for the next person whose turn it will be, because those ones among them, they are still going to grow old. And when they grow old, they will still pass through the same fate that she had gone through, and they will still be treated the same way. It has become a culture, a way of life, and things that are not the way they should be, that have been made normalized. That is what it is, even though it is not comfortable. All these beliefs and things of the mind, if we can work on them. It is one thing to admit that we have no money to take somebody to the hospital and pay their bills. And it is another thing to admit that, and to pretend that the person is the one who is responsible for whatever bad thing is happening to them. And because of it, they are suffering the right punishment for their wrongs. And they do not deserve any love. All of us alive deserve to be loved, both good and bad people alike. We all deserve to be loved, because none of us are good. Forget about the thing of nemesis, karma, and all that. All of us, we do wrongs, different kind of wrong things at different times and places. And it's just that the mercy and graces of God are very abundant, if not because of it. If we are to be punished for all the things we are doing, none of us who are condemning others are even good enough to pass before the eyes of God. I thank you all for the time you had given to watch this. And I believe that with this, we will one day be able to enlighten our people and show them the right path, and stop some obnoxious practices among our people that had lasted so long among us that it has become a culture and a practice, even though it shouldn't have been there in the first place. Before you cry out of a segregation and mistreatment from a stranger, watch out how you treat your own brother. I am a friend, Cyprian.